Hello guys and welcome. Today I'm going to just give you guys a quick tour of the property itself, a more hands-on one-on-one tour. I've got a couple projects I need to get done today inside the house. Specifically, the wife wants me to clear out our mudroom and get my garage sorted, because right now my workshop and my garage are not at all in a good place. Here, I will show you. Give me one moment. I'll show you how the garage is looking, and yeah, I gotta figure out what to do with my tools. How do I flip this? Okay, apparently I have to pause and unpause to flip the screen. Good to know. So the little one's just over there playing in the treehouse by the garden, but let's pop into the workshop real quick. That I need to fix up. There's some rot on the trim there at the bottom, so I've noticed water has been getting in underneath the door to the workshop. When we first moved here, there wasn't even a door handle. It is currently January 2nd. New Year's was yesterday, and so this is the start of our first full year here on the homestead. All right, and let's show you guys around real quick. So my workshop right now is a mess. I've got some tools still boxed. I've got a lot of tools just out and about. My miter saw does not have a proper bench yet. I will need to build a proper bench for that. And toolbox is just off here in the corner. So again, it is not very well put together. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this room, how I'm gonna organize it. And I've got some stuff to work with. If you come over here, this is the garage where the Firebird will be sitting for most of the year. I'll be pulling him in once I get this sorted out. We got the kids' bikes. I gotta figure out where I'm putting those. A workbench that the previous owners had left here that has a pegboard behind it. But I don't really wanna leave this workbench here as a usable space. I mean, I don't mind stacking some stuff on it and putting some stuff under it, but I'm not gonna be working from this bench. I'm going to be, the car's gonna be here, right? This is where the car's gonna be. I don't wanna be working on things next to the car. So these shelves will probably be moved into the workshop, as will this pegboard. Now, that I don't think I will get done today, but I at least need to have a plan in place. And then back here in our wood room, it is just cardboard galore left over from when we moved here, as well as, you know, our firewood for the year, and some old skids, and just a bunch of extra wood up there that I haven't taken an inventory yet and gone through. I don't know exactly what's up there yet. We got our deep freezer, we got some window shutters, we got, looks like, posts, 2x6s, 2x4s, 1x4s, 2x2s, a lot of potentially usable wood that I just have not gone through. So at some point I need to do an inventory of that. And then the main thing the wife wants, here in the mudroom, those are my tools. And that needs to be cleared up. So that's my project for today, after we finish our little walk around. And then, if you come up behind me here, there's actually a staircase to a loft up there. We haven't decided what we're doing with that loft yet. It is, those stairs are not the greatest. I mean, they're sturdy. I can walk up them, but there's no, you know, railing. And that's a concern. Got to figure out what to do with the kids' bikes. Oh, this is what I meant here. As you can see, there's some water that came in under the door of the garage. Now, none of these power cables are plugged in, so that's not an issue, but I do need to find a way to seal that. Be it replace the door, replace the trim. I haven't figured that part out yet, but that is definitely high on my to-do list. Yes, child? I mean, it's fine, you're in it. All right, so let's walk on over to our garden. Give you guys a quick look at the garden first. You're just following? Why don't you go play, Munchkin, okay?
I want to go to the garden.
You want to go to the garden? Okay. So, I don't know if it was the previous owners or previous to the previous, but at some point this garden looks to have actually been in use. You can see some semblance of where they actually had like rows of different plants. Looks like there was still some stuff growing here. I think this might be cabbage. I don't know for sure. If anyone of you guys know what that is, let me know. And I'll need to figure out what I can do to, you know, prepare this area in the spring. Now, right along here, let's see here. If you guys can see those orange tapes, right? When you line them up, that's our property line. So the property line, actually, the garden doesn't cover the whole property line because the property got subdivided. So one of my first things is going to be to move this fence here so that it's on our side of the property and we don't have to, you know, encroach upon our neighbor's land for our garden. It will cut off a couple square meters of space, probably about 10, 15 meters or so, but all in all, not terrible. But, ooh, this is in here good. Yeah, it was frozen in there. Yeah, I see what looks like the remnants of squash. So I think they might have had their own squash vines in here at some point. That mound looks like it could have been a composting mound. Ooh, soil here is soft, very squishy. And I think these are compost pits. I'm not sure. Either way, they're frozen shut, but I think they're compost.
Hello.
I got the little one following me around today. And then closer to the house, there's this smaller section of it. Looking at the ground, all those apples, I'm assuming this tree is an apple tree. As to whether it's, you know, edible apples or crab apples, I haven't figured out. That tree right there is also an apple tree. So I like that this garden area does have what feels like good soil. It's very soft. I can feel obvious bumps, so it's like they did have it rowed out properly. I think what I might do is plan out some walking paths through it and then have the actual garden run in between so that it's easier for people to walk around in there. And that's the outside of the workshop there and the loft up above. But that's the garden. Let me go close the gate though, because I came out through the wrong end. I also apologize again for the I apologize for the sound. I am recording this directly on my phone. I don't have my microphone out here with me because I don't have a microphone that hooks up to my phone. I also am trying to keep the camera as steady as I can while I take you guys on this tour. But I am a fat man who runs out of breath really easily. And then further down in this big open area, we've got these big plots here, which I believe had tomatoes in them. Different types of tomatoes and some wood, and there's definitely a lot of weeds that need to be cleared out. But yeah, here you can see the remnants of little tomatoes that were in here. So if they start growing back in the spring, I may just clean those area up and leave them as growing tomatoes. Otherwise, I don't know what we'll do with them. All right, let's bring us around the back of the house here. I'm still not quite done the cleanup of the wood. Most of this wood is trees that were knocked down by Fiona that came through here back in late September, early October, just before we took ownership of the house. And then this here is where the back deck is that we had to build a rail for. The rail project probably is not up yet. It's not quite done, but it's mostly done. Like, there's a vertical slat here that's missing that I haven't put in. I just ran out of wood. I don't have all the vertical slats in here yet. But it's good and sturdy. These posts that go through, they're lag bolted in right through. And then some of them, I have the posts going all the way down to a concrete block on the bottom. And then the rails come down. Good sturdy rail that ain't going nowhere. And over here we got the log that Paul could not move. So okay. Munchkin, please don't swing the stick that close to me. I don't want you to accidentally snap it off and it go flying and hit people. Why don't you go play over at the play place area, okay? So over where I'm at now is some trees that were gathered shortly after Fiona came, probably by the sellers before they left. They gathered them all in one pile for us, which was nice. They weren't like sprawled all over our property. So I started sawing them apart the other day, and I realized that these logs are a little heavy for me to move. I can, stand it up, I can drag it, but that drains so much energy just getting it over to where I do my wood cutting over there that I need to come up with a better solution. And I've been looking at a lot of videos about these log cart things. It's like a tripod on two posts on a wheel, and then you pull it over the log and you hook the log on, you lift the log up, and you use it to drag it. It's like a log trailer. I'm not going to be cutting enough logs that I need a full-fledged log trailer to go out and invest in one of those, but I might see what I can whip together in the workshop, because I need something that's going to be a little more sustainable, because some of these logs are a bit of a distance away. I guess we have this tree, or these trees, that are not too far from where I'm going to be doing my wood cutting and stacking for the year, but we also have more down the hill there that need to be dealt with, and that's going to be a lot. I may chop them up. I'm going to chop them into smaller pieces down there, but I need to get the wood up here somehow. Well, let's head on over to the chicken coops. All right. Yeah, so over here is where I've been doing the prep of the wood, and it's not really a proper wood chopping area yet. And most of these logs are, thin enough that I haven't had to chop them. I've chopped a couple of them, but yeah, I want a good stump. I want a good stump that I can set this stuff on to get a good chop. Right now I'm using the ground. The ground's not very level. I might find a tamper of some sort and just tamp down the ground here so it's a little more solid, but this is the best I got for now. Again, work in progress. But over here, the coops. Let me show you the coops, what we got to work with here. So, this fence post looks to have come right out of the ground. It's at quite the lean. As you can see, it's no longer in line with the other posts, and most of the posts have a bit of a lean on them, so I'm going to have to redo this fencing, but it's not a bad little space as is. It's got a combination of two types of wire. It's got some holes in it, so obviously there's been some animals and some debris there. And then around here we got the second coop. Now this coop, the door's gone. I think those were at one point the door. So I'm going to have to redo that. But it's got a little nice area back here for chickens or ducks. From what I was told, the previous owners actually had pygmy goats back here. I don't know how accurate that is. Now, the structures themselves are in decent shape. Ooh, but that ramp is not strong enough for a Paul to walk on. So let me just step all the way up. Yeah, this is a very unsteady deck, so I wouldn't recommend too many people on it, but like, it's dirty in here. Needs to be cleaned out, but it's insulated. It's reasonably warm in here. There's an electrical outlet. I don't know if it works though, because I don't know where that would be fed from. I didn't see any wiring going out of the house. But yeah, it's sturdy, it's warm, it's got this little raised area here. Like, I don't feel cold in here right now. It's a lot warmer in here than it is outside, I'll tell you that much. That being said, it's not that cold outside either. The door latch leaves a little something to be desired, but I mean, it's a chicken coop. It serves its purpose. Yeah, so, okay. Here's where that outlet comes out. It's just a plug. So I think they may have just run a giant extension cord out here. I don't know. And then off to the second coop. A little bit of a low-hanging ceiling. It's got this really old-style window that still works. Little spring-loaded latches. And as you can see, it's not great, but it's sturdy, it's stable, and it's got a hole that goes in the back half. Yeah. Let me close these back up. And that back half is accessible by that little door there that's outside the fence. Why it's got the two-door setup, I don't know. I've never designed a coop, so I don't know what the purpose of that was. There we go. So that's the coops. We do have a solar panel here that powers a floodlight inside. And then the rest of the area, to show you guys. Well, here's where I was talking about a bunch of felled trees that I'm gonna have to do something with. I mean, they'll make good firewood for the next year or so. I won't be able to use them this winter because they'll need to be seasoned, but should be able to get them all processed and ready for next year. There's a few on the other side of the property line, but that's not something I need to worry about. I just gotta worry about these ones here. And then this here bush is actually just a giant felled tree. And we got this big one here. So this whole area is gonna be cleared out once I get rid of this tree. If I can get this log here, this stump, this is a pretty sizable stump. Like here it is next to me for scale. Like I'm a fairly large man, and that is a thick boy. That is a thick stump. So this could be a good area to do my wood processing if I have a better way to get the wood to the house when I'm done. So maybe a cart, maybe a wagon. I don't know. I will still need to figure that out. But then you come down to the largest area of our land. Now, directly here, I can't do much with this open area. It's just gonna always be an open area, a play area, because beneath this is our septic system. And this is the seepage field area. So this spot right down here, not gonna be much going on here, but all down here, big open land. I eventually want to put in a proper path. You can kind of see what looks like tire path going down here. I want to eventually put like a footpath going down here so it's a little nicer of a walk. Not that I mind the walk, but it'll make it easier on the wife, especially when we're coming down to the bunkhouse down by the river. So one of the things we've been considering is fencing this field off, just with some very simple fencing. And in this area back here, between here and the woods, on this back half of the property, building a barn. And then we can get some grazing animals, maybe a couple of goats or a cow, maybe a horse. It's about a 2.5 acre just splotch of grass on the property. So if properly maintained, I think that might be enough space for a grazing animal, a small one. I wouldn't want to have a herd of cow in here, but I don't know, maybe there'd be one cow that would work well with a smaller pasture. I don't know if any of you guys are already experienced homesteaders. Do you think this would be enough grazing land for an animal? I'm sure I got lots of neighbors around here that might be able to talk to who have a little bit of experience as well. One of the reasons I want to put the footpath down here as well is there are spots where the ground does get a little flooded, which I'm wearing proper footwear, but it's not always ideal. In the tree line here, there's a couple of apple trees, berry trees. I won't know what all the trees are necessarily until spring though, because I'm not that good at identifying winter trees. And I guess the little one is joining me for the tour today. Well, one of her tasks that the wife left was for her to go outside, and she's outside. So she understood the assignment. Getting a little muddy down here. And then down here, we come to the edge of the property. We're not going to do a whole lot down here. We got like this nice little fireplace here, a little fire pit. And there's a bunkhouse, which somebody left the bunkhouse open with a stick stuck in the door. I don't know who did that. And pulled a fishing rod out. Little miss, was this you?
I only put the rod in.
Did you take the rod out?
It was on.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't we showed you it?
Oh yeah, so we got this little bunkhouse here, which is not insulated, but it's a usable little room. It'll be good in the springtime, summertime for the kids just to come and hang out.
Make this our little fort.
Yep. And like it's got a proper screen door on it too. Not that the screen door is moving because it's frozen. This is left open. Let me unjam that. There we go. That's latched shut now. And Wiverwati Wharf. I don't know. I think those are supposed to be W's. W-I-V-R-E. Wivery. Wati. War. Or are those supposed... No, that's an E. It looks like there's a piece missing. So it's Vivivatir No, Vatin. Yeah, if any of you can suss out what this is supposed to say, let me know what you think.
Water Valley.
Well, it's not River Water Valley. Wiver. I think it's W-I-V-E-R, Wiver. W-A-T-R, water. W-H-A-R-F, wharf. Wiver Water Wharf. And which brings us to the river itself. It's a brackish water river fed into the tide, so possibly some good fish in here. There's some trees down here as well that we're going to need to get that wood chopped up. I'll probably leave that chopped wood down here though for the actual fire pit. And at one point, because this is all mud here, like basically from where those reeds end, it's thick mud. When the tide gets high, the water level comes pretty high. Like you can see the neighbors have a bit of a dock there. So I'm thinking of building something similar to that we can sit on, that's up above the tides, but that we can sit on and sit over the water level. So that is another future project, just to, you know, be able to come out here, sit on the deck, maybe do some fishing, maybe put a ladder in because some of the kids want to try swimming in that water later. I wouldn't recommend it yet, but that is the tour. So as you can see, there's a lot of projects still that need to be dealt with, a lot of work that's going to be ahead of me, and a lot of it's going to have to wait until the weather's a little nicer, but some of it I can start doing the prep work now while it's a bit chilly. I say a bit chilly, but considering we're in Canada, it's January 2nd, and I still see grass. The weather's been beautiful this year. Yeah, we've had some issues. We've had some power outages. We've had some storms hit, but nowhere near as bad as I would have feared. But yeah, thank you for joining me on this walk. I'm quite out of breath. As I mentioned, I am a fat man. I am in terrible shape, but hopefully that changes over time. Hopefully you'll join me as we start to tackle some of these projects and make some progress. This is the start of our 2023. Let's see what the rest of the year will bring. Thank you all for coming along. Make sure to leave any comments, feedback, suggestions you might have, any things that you think would be a good idea in the comments below. Drop me a like because it really helps us out with them algorithms. And if you're not already, why not subscribe so you can keep up with us as we post more content. Have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night.